Bate, bate nesse batuque que só vê, hein, rapaz? Gostei de ver, hein? E, olha, eu vou falar pra galera que tá no português aqui, ó, o seguinte, Quetzal é tipo uma eclipse cultural, assim, cara. Quando a gente se conheceu e a gente começou a trabalhar junto, trocar ideia, a gente viu o quanto a gente tem em comum pelo fato de ele ser um cara com o pé no Brasil e o quanto que eu pude aprender do lado latino e do lado americano também que ele tem como influência. But you were born and raised in Arizona, is that right?
That's right. Well, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, but I spent a lot of time in Brazil. I've been back to Recife probably a dozen times in my life. Spent some summers there. I had some family, some cousins in Bahia. You know, I used to surf in Bahia with my cousins. And like I said, trained a lot of capoeira. So even though I'm American and I grew up in the States, educated in the States, Brazil had a very, very strong influence in my whole musical paradigm. You know, my mother is a musician. She plays violon, piano. She sings. She plays charango. She plays all these different instruments, and she taught me all about Brazilian music. You know, from Jobim to Carlinhos Brown to Sergio Mendes to a lot of the forró classics. Gonzaga. My mom also plays sanfona, so she taught me about forró at a very young age. And I always felt and identified a lot with Brazilian culture, mostly Brazilian music, and I still do today, even though technically I'm an American.
And you have a Latino dad that brought a lot of that kind of cultural background as well. And you, when you were a kid, you were involved in the Latino scene quite a bit. You were, playing with a tío Tito, no?
That's right. Yeah, I as a young kid, I was raised and listening to a lot of Latin jazz, a lot of Carlos Santana, a lot of Tito Puente, a lot of Lalo Guerrero. And I had a chance to perform with some of these artists, such as Tito Puente and Lalo Guerrero and Jorge Santana. Throughout the years, they were huge influences on my musical education as well, as however you would put that. So learned a lot about Brazil through its music, learned a lot about Latino America through its music. And all of those influences have really kind of kept my palette open as far as where my musical journey has taken me. So now, I've been able to collaborate with groups from Colombia like La Mojara Elétrica and Amaru Tribe, or groups from Brazil like Mestre Bahão, as well as groups from the Bay Area like LoCura.
Yeah, we have Kata here on standby that will be joining us soon. And here's a curveball. Before I want to play this next song, which is called Trocha. Is that the name of the song?
Yes, that's right. It's called Trocha.
And I see that there's a viento callejero involved in that track. But before we jump into the story behind Trocha, curveball on the cultural eclipse of Quetzal Guerrero. You lived in freaking Japan at some point, and that's where you really dived into the violin. Is that the story?
Yeah, that's right. When I was 5 years old, my father, who is a very well-known visual artist and mask maker here in Phoenix, he won the National Endowments of the Arts grant to live and study in Japan. He wanted to study mask making with the no mask living treasure carvers of Japan. So we moved to Japan when I was about 5 years old, and I went to kindergarten in Japan. But I also continued my studies of classical music. I started classical violin at the age of 4. So by the time I was 5, I went and studied at the Suzuki Institute in Matsumoto, Japan. And that was an experience that has forever shaped my life. Just living in Japan, living abroad, and living in a country like Japan at such a young age. I'm barely recognizing today how much of an impact that's had in my whole experience, just in life in general, So it's been quite an amazing journey.
That's very cool. So there you have it. Quetzal Guerrero, the verdadero eclipse cultural. It's like Suzuki violin method with Santana and Jimi Hendrix and a lot of Bob Marley in the essence, Brazil, Latinidad e tudo mais. Let's play Trocha, and then we'll come back and tell a little bit more of the music, and we'll have Kata join us live here at Tamo Junto. Guys, I'm here every night from 8 to 9. Please help us out if you like to. I'm going to post my Venmo account there if you feel like you want to give us some dollars so we keep the show going. Please do. I'll take it. I'm unemployed.
Hay batucada, suena la caixa, zurdo me llama, ese tambor. DJ que suena por la avenida, nadie te cobra para entrar. Desde Santiago, Cali pa' Cali, llegó el tiempo para celebrar. ¡Ey! Por la calle, vibra buena, cae la conga, carnaval, como en Cuba y en Colombia, brasileiro, Trinidad. Por la calle, vibra buena, cae la conga, carnaval, como en Cuba y en Colombia, brasileiro, Trinidad. Brasileiro de terreiro, coração verdadeiro, é malandro, bandigueiro, bate-papo, dá cheiro criminal, ilegal, não tem como, não tem qual, quando chega de subir até o fundo do quintal. Todo el Caribe suena la vibra, febrero y julio mueven así por la avenida. Baila la gente, salte si puedes para vivir. Coge la guagua o riquimbili, ahí te veo en la trocha para empezar. Por la avenida, mueve la gente, ánimo nuevo, malo se va, ánimo nuevo, malo se va. Por la calle, vibra buena, cae la conga, carnaval, como en Cuba y en Colombia, brasileiro, Trinidad. Por la calle, vibra buena, cae la conga, carnaval, como en Cuba y en Colombia, brasileiro, Trinidad. Criminal e legal, na pobreza tudo igual, sonhando uma vida ideal, sem fome, sem droga, nem classe social, cheio de esperança, fico na boa, fora do mal. Por la calle, vibra buena, cae la conga, carnaval, como en Cuba y en Colombia, brasileiro, Trinidad. Por la calle, vibra buena, cae la conga, carnaval, como en Cuba y en Colombia, brasileiro, Trinidad. Criminal ilegal, não tem como ter igual. Criminal ilegal, não tem como ter igual. Criminal ilegal, não tem como ter igual. Criminal ilegal, é malandro, bandigueiro, bate-papo, dá cheiro. Criminal ilegal, não tem como ter igual. Quando chega de subir até o fundo do quintal. Criminal ilegal, não tem como ter igual.
Quetzal Guerrero, aquí estamos con Trocha, Viento Callejero. Tell me about Viento Callejero. What's up with that? Let me unmute you then. There you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Viento Callejero is a group based out of Boyle Heights, Los Angeles, East LA, led by a very talented musician named Gloria Estrada. She was one of the original members of La Santa Cecilia. The drummer in her project has been the drummer for Chicano Batman. And she's worked and performed with all kinds of amazing artists in the LA area. And she has this amazing project called Viento Callejero. And we got a chance to collaborate on this tune called Trocha. There's a really, really cool music video that you can see with the song. It's in YouTube that was filmed in Havana, Cuba. And it's super rocking. And
Really,
I just,
you know that I'm going there, man. The only thing now that I'm actually been discussing with some folks here, it's all the legalese about having a show like this, because this is kind of brand new, and I've been playing YouTube links with the authorization of the artist directly into the show. But check this out: some artists, they don't even know that they have contracts that their distributors mute their own music online if they do it this way. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But there is an algorithm out there, and but I want to show it. Another thing that I want to jump right into it. It's now 8:30, and we would like to bring our very special Kata here to join us tonight. I feel like you're like a Bay Area institution already. Your lady is from the Bay, and you have a bunch of family up here, right? You've been coming back and forth, not only playing shows, but also enjoying and being part of the Bay Area cultural scene, and as a person for a while, right?
Yeah, definitely. I have two aunts on my father's side, Mexican American side, that live in Berkeley, Oakland, and a lot of cousins. I have a cousin who's the same age as me, and he's a filmmaker from the Bay Area. His name is David Tellez. So I've been coming back and forth to San Francisco, to the Bay, for a long time. My wife, she's from South City, South San Francisco. And so we're always making the rounds up to the Bay Area, either doing pojeta parties or just celebrating the holidays with family. And I have another friend of mine who's an artist collaborator. He goes by the name of Koflo. He's a well-known house music dancer, DJ, producer who works for the record label called Ocha Records. He just recently put out a remix last year of one of my tunes, and we worked together. So there's a lot of an amazing and very influential and important people in my life, including yourself, Paulo.
Yoo-hoo!
In the Bay Area.
Here we are. You know what else? We're gonna bring one more instrumental person here for the Latino scene in the Bay Area. Let me just unmute her. Now that's how we do the grand entrance. Okay. Señoras y señores, déjame presentarle. Aquí está mi amiga Kata. Say hi to the people out there, man.
Hola familia, aquí la
Hola.
Kata.
¿Cómo está, Kata?
Mucho gusto de estar aquí con vosotros.
Oh, por supuesto, yo estoy muy contento de poder hacer el aponte, la cosa de la unión, de la conexión. Dígame una cosita aquí. ¿Cuándo fue que conociste Quetzal? ¿A dónde en el camino se cruzaron la musicalidad?
Bueno, pues, ¿quieres que te hable en español o que te hable en...?
O que te hable o que tu corazón manda.
Vale, muy bien, muy bien. Pues la bendición de cruzar caminos con el Quetzal fue en Arizona, donde está él ahora.
Oh, really? Arizona?
Sí.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have to go to Phoenix, but you can go. You gotta go to Arizona.
Yeah.
Fue en un concierto, ay, no me acuerdo cuántos años. Hace muchos años. Yo creo que hace como 10 años o algo.
Yeah.
Estábamos de gira en Arizona y pues se juntaron los conciertos de LoCura con Quetzal, y Quetzal tenía la banda entera, y era en el Rhythm Room, I think, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And then there was another show, it was your CD release, que me acuerdo, it was the first time I saw Quetzal doing capoeira, and I was like, what? This guy doesn't just
Ding, ding,
sing
ding.
like an
Ding, ding, ding.
angel and like play the violin and play the guitar and all this shit, but he also does capoeira, and it was really it was a really beautiful time. And from that show es cuando seguimos en contacto, y cada vez que podíamos, o sea, tocar juntos o colaborar, pues ahí empezó el camino.
Oh, that's so cool. And talking about El Camino, los encuentros. So have you guys played together as like on the bill, like you mentioned in Arizona, LoCura and Quetzal? Have you done that in the Bay as well?
We did it a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago, and then the show that was canceled on the 12th.
Oh, that's my that's mi deja. That's how I want to fish the event. we had this thing together, guys. That was supposed to happen at the New Parish on the 12th of March that got canceled, and it was the first time I had a serious conversation about coronavirus because we were still debating if we're gonna do it or not, and we all got together on the conference meeting room.
Yeah, there was 5 of us.
Yeah, and we were all concerned, and text messages coming back and forth. But it was best. And Kata, I remember, and I want to mention one more time, we talked about that the other night. You were the wise one.
Well, I don't know if I would say the wise one. It was just that I was feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
I was hearing the people, and people I care about, because there's a lot of hearing, but it's hearing the people you care about and care about what they have to say. And I, at that point, was still ready to do the concert, but I was like, I don't know. Let me check in with everybody.
Yeah, but it's been now, I guess this is week 3 or 4, and I started, we're on episode 15 of Tamo Junto, and we started like a week later. So that means it's been a good chunk of time. And I've been talking to different folks, and I guess we are fortunate to look at the world and look at life in a positive manner and trying to get the best out of it. Yeah. But I'm hearing a lot of really amazing partnerships, human behavior changing, sense of community getting stronger and gluing together. And I want to play this tune now that we tried to play the other day, but we started getting cut and stuff. It's called Aquí Estamos. It was literally, it came out of this collective effort during the quarantine, where you guys started working remotely, and we have a tune that we're gonna play. Tell me about Aquí Estamos.
Yeah, just like you said, Aquí Estamos came out of the quarantine blues and the quarantine struggle. Las penas cuarentenas. Damian Núñez from Duende del Sur and Pantilla Football Club, a really badass, brilliant musician, father, teacher here in the Bay Area. He started sending us all, a bunch of us, the track that he had come up with. First, he had sent me another track that was really heavy and very like, it was so like deep that I started like, he was like, send me your ideas. And I just started going in my own like trip and processing, and I never wrote him back. And then 2 days later, he sent this more like upbeat song, like it was a more hopeful, like a more uplifting song. And right away, like Raul Vargas and Javi Jimenez and all of us from different bands here in the Bay Area started sending him feedback and sending him ideas back. And this is the song that came out of a song of hope, a song of dealing with the times, of trying to like understand what was going on, and that we're still here and we have to hold together and like try to make the best of this situation right now.
Awesome. Yeah, without further ado, I want to play Aquí Estamos, and then when we're back, I want to talk about Lyrics of Seda, an institution that plugs together refugee musicians from around the world to collaborations like this one. Aquí Estamos, Lyrics of Seda. Ya regresamos. Se quede aquí con nosotros porque nosotros estamos juntos.
Dos.
Aquí estamos, no nos hemos ido. A pesar de estos tiempos virulentos, a pesar que todo se lo lleva el viento y que el miedo parece gobernar, aquí estamos, no han desaparecido. Los que siempre cantan al amor perdido, al del presente, también al del futuro, a los pobres que no tienen que cantar. Y ahora que se viene el frío, y ahora que falta más sed, de mi alma sale un canto despedido, es el grito de la vida dibujado en la pared. Y ahora que sufren los míos, y ahora que hemos de perder, solo entrego todo porque nada es mío, nuestro canto es el testigo que aquí estamos otra vez. Aquí estamos, somos los que sueñan con un mundo que nos deje cultivar estos cantos que florecen de la tierra y son ánimo de nuestra libertad. Aquí estamos, vencedores vencidos. Todos los ríos siempre llegan al mar y que no es el principio ni es el final. Y aquí estamos. Aquí estoy y está todo del revés. Si la vida ya no quiere dar más, vente conmigo, vamos juntos a disfrutar. Con mi guitarra que solo canta libertad.
Ay, cuando la cosa aprieta, hay que estar todos juntitos, que no quede ni una grieta por la que no pueda dar. De los momentos más duros, y esto yo sí que lo juro, salen las cosas más grandes, no lo dudes en un instante, mantén a tu semblante que fue la supervivencia, nos queremos mucho, 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 mucho más.
Y ahora que se viene el frío, y ahora que falta más fe, de mi alma sale un canto despedido, es el grito de la vida dibujado en la pared. Y ahora que sufren los míos, y ahora que hemos de perder, yo lo entrego todo porque nada es mío, nuestro canto es el testigo que aquí estamos otra vez.
Are we ready to do this, guys?
Oh yeah.
All right,
Hey.
we're back. Yeah,
Ole.
I'm playing tricks. All right, so this was Aquí Estamos. Kata, let's jump into Lyrics of Seda, because how did Lyrics of Seda got involved in this thing, and what is Lyrics of Seda, anyways?
Well, Lyrics Asada is a collective, an organization that Hassan, I think pretty much Hassan, I'm sure Hassan with other folks, but Hassan is spearheaded the project, I think. And it's a collective, it's an organization. I came onto it much later after they had already started. They started working, they wanted his vision was to work when everything was really exploding in Greece with the Syrian refugee movement that was happening in Greece. Like, I don't know if that was already 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And he wanted to connect artists and musicians in this diaspora and in this refugee crisis, and collaborate musically and present a, like connect different artists. And so he collaborated with Miguel Ángel Astudillo, who's a videographer, with Damian Nunez, who brought this song to us, with Margie, another incredible musician here in the Bay Area, and a bunch of different folks. And they started, I think Colin O'Leary was in the earlier times.
Oh, Colin, man, I got to talk to Colin because he's doing the fundraiser for Radio Habana.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we're gonna call Colin for sure.
Yeah, Colin, Colin. And so they were working with, they met up with different artists, and Ali, who's on this track playing the oud, is one of the incredible Syrian artists, refugee artists in Germany. And so they were like, they did a whole documentary about their experience in Greece and how they were like collaborating with different artists, and went to Germany, and they did a whole documentary. And then it kind of went on, and then then they invited me to be a part of it. Javi from Barrio Manouche, Raúl Vargas from Macru. And so we all kind of came together, and we did different like gigs and different like, played some with the documentary release. And also there was The Jungle, was this incredible theater production that was done in San Francisco about a refugee camp in Paris, in France, I mean. And so
I heard that.
Lyrics Asada, yeah, that was incredible. And Lyrics Asada then has been ongoing, trying to just like connect. But when this happened and Damian was like, okay, right now the focus is like, our community right here is struggling. So I want to send out this song, and let's get together and see how we can like present this song and make a video. And he was like, come on, guys, send me your quarantine videos right now.
Oh, right on. And I'm going to go ahead and just place the link here so folks can see it, because that is connected to the GoFundMe campaign where folks can donate. So all the artists that were part of the track can collect a little something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like folks like Javi and, I'm by myself. I mean, I'm taking care of myself right now, but like there's folks that have whole families to feed, and
it's going on, man. Yeah, it's pretty serious, guys. And I'm very fortunate that I do have some safety net, but I'm also waiting for another little one, man. We got to do this thing.
Yeah.
And now let me get back to Quetzal here, and just I want to play a little taste of what the night at the new parish would be, and I'm sure that we'll put this together as the universe permits. But Quetzal has been doing some really interesting versions on his violin, and inviting folks to join, turning a lot of we turned this Bob Marley song into a shotty that is like the forró slow. I shotty the sheriff. It's really amazing. And I have the track of Get Free here that I would like to share with folks online. Tell us a bit about that track. Why did you choose that particular track, and what the taste is with your electrical violin on it?
This track, Get Free, is originally by a really well-known group called Major Lazer. A lot of people may already be familiar with this song. I became a fan of the song when it first came out. I was really drawn to the lyrics and the melody, the message behind it. You know, it's just how people are feeling stuck, how people are feeling completely oppressed, and they need to get free. They need to get lifted out of this, you know, eternal oppression that so many people in so many countries feel. And we're feeling that today in this American consumeristic, capitalistic, imperial culture that is perpetual debt and perpetual work and rent and bills. And something like this quarantine right now is really making everybody just stop, slow down, look at what their lives are, put things into perspective. So that song, Get Free, I feel like is very relevant to right now, what we're feeling, because now we actually get to go introspective and really do some soul searching and figure out who are the most important people in our lives, what are the most important things in our lives, what do we need to do to survive. But also that break to reconnect with nature has been so sorely needed for so long. You know, I see so many positives in this. So that song, funny enough, I played that song for the first time at Burning Man, not the same year I met you, Pablo.
Reverbia, no?
Yeah, at Reverbia, which is an all live music camp. They set up
I
this.
was close by there. I was there wearing my Michael Jackson jacket.
Yeah, well, you came and played a big show with us there, actually, a
I
big
did.
concert.
It was so fun, yeah.
But they set up this amazing geodesic dome with these LED triangle screens everywhere. They weren't really LED. They were some kind of lit up screens. And the way that the architect had set it up is that the lights would correspond to the frequency of the music that was being played. So automatically I was like, bing, 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 bing. I was like, oh, I got to set up my violin.
Yeah, you know, my daughter is watching the show. She is one of those kids too. She sees the light.
Yeah. So I was able to plug in my violin to the sound system they had in this dome, and the color spectrum that was being projected out on this dome was reacting directly to the frequencies that were being emitted. So when I started playing my violin, I started playing Get Free. I had been practicing that tune, and it was a big song. I started playing Get Free, and it literally brought in hundreds of people from the playa, just started like slowly trickling into this dome and like sitting underneath it and tripping out and loving it. So for literally, that was literally at 3 a.m. on a Monday night. And every day after that, I had run in, or somebody had stopped me on the playa or somewhere in Burning Man and was like, you were that guy playing Get Free. Was that you playing Get Free on the violin? And I was like, yeah, you know, so everybody was really struck by the whole experience of being in this immersive light, you know, geodome. And then I think being able to recognize that tune, because it's very popular, to Get Free, but doing it in my rendition, which is kind of like the pseudo classical symphonic psychedelic style, it really captivated a lot of people. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to record this tune because it really made an impact on this audience. So this is my version of Major Lazer's Get Free.
Nice.
Is that your voice?
Yeah.
It's an instrumental. Yeah, this is my voice. Just strings.
Guys, if you want to trip out right now, turn off the light for a minute and go ahead. This is Tamo Junto. Feel it. Get free, everybody. Did you feel yourself in that zone, in that mode?
For
That's
sure.
great, man. Great pick. And thanks for the story. That's such a cool
Thank
story.
you.
Guys,
I have a
just
question about that story.
Go ahead.
Okay.
When you played it at the playa for the first time, did you sing with it or was it instrumental?
No, it was only instrumental. I had just plugged in the violin and I was doing all these looping with the violin. And it created this very atmospheric, ambient kind of vibe. And that's what people really, I think, connected with, was the fact that it was instrumental. Because I do sing that song as well when I play live. But I chose to do the instrumental version of the recording just because I think that has more of an ethereal vibe to it. You know?
That's like bait for burners. You're kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do the trippy thing. They just start like magnetic stuff for burners.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna see all kinds of. Anyways, I would like to quickly remind you all that this show is only possible because of Brazil Best Media. Brazil Best Media, it's a local Brazilian homegrown magazine that's now on digital platforms. Please come visit brazilbest.com this month. My buddy Celso Braz had to work from home and run around on the phone all day, collecting information and the right information. Let's just say that's not a very good time to have a pandemic, because fake news was already the topic. So after the pandemic came, the fake news took it to another level. So you have to really be careful out there and filter the out of your information, because things can get really hairy really quickly. Be careful before you start spreading stuff that might not necessarily be true. Speaking of spreading stuff that might not be true, I want to spread something that is so true, guys. Let me tell you, I did this interesting like living room festival with in partnership with a local organization here in the Bay Area called the Children's Network of Solano County, with my buddy Erica Erickson and Jamila from Vallejo, about the Census 2020. A bunch of different organizations, they received a grant to mobilize the communities to complete the census. And you out there, if you have received something in the mail that asks you to be counted for the census, please do so. It's really easy. You can go to the website and you, on the communication that they sent you by mail, there is a code. You punch in that code, you put on, it's completely confidential. It's pretty serious stuff. And why is it important to complete this thing? Because it's the only way, and this only happens every 10 years. So if we don't get counted, especially the kids, contemos todos los niños, the federal funding distribution doesn't get to where it needs to go. It's simple like that. So if you receive this thing, go ahead and do that. We still have time. It's the whole month of April, and we're encouraging everyone in the Bay Area to be counted, because we need the money. It's not like the president really liked the Bay Area, is it? Right? Come on, guys. We need to make sure he knows how many of us at least there are, so we can see what's out there. All right, so moving forward here, I have another song from LoCura. Now we heard lyrics of Seda and all that collaboration, but in reality, you've been putting a lot more energy throughout the years with LoCura, right, Kata? Tell us more about LoCura, please. Are you
LoCura.
not? Yeah, LoCura.
Sí, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, LoCura is the main band. It's the main musical family that I'm a part of. We started when I moved to the Bay in 2005. Bob and I started collaborating, and so it's been 15 years.
Wow. And
yeah, and it's
the track I want to throw out there, it's called Me Llevaré. And from what album is that one?
That's from the last album that we put out, or I guess EP, with Juan Manuel Caipo.
Oh yeah, Juan Manuel Caipo.
That was Dale de Comer.
Cool. Yeah, I've been seeing you and Caipo hanging out, going around. Now not anymore because of coronavirus, as they say. But big shout out to Juan Manuel Caipo, Bang Data, and all those fellas. Really, really good people. All right, let's play Me Llevaré, and then we talk more about LoCura when we return right here at Tamo Junto, everybody.
You're right. Monkeys together. 1, 2, go. Caminando, pura armonía con los colores de la ciudad. Por la calle, paseando al ritmo de mi propio amor. Apareciste inesperado como el sol en las mañanas de San Francisco. Me quedé ciega con tu luz sin saber a dónde iba y ahora solo quiero tomarte en el Parque Dolores. Un instante que viene y se va, pero lo que da se queda. Y ahora con qué me quedo yo y qué es lo que tengo. Me llevaré el cariño, me llevaré el cariño, calor. Me llevaré el cariño, me llevaré el cariño, calor. Me llevaré el cariño, me llevaré el cariño, calor. Me llevaré el cariño, calor. Porque a mí me gusta el tan prendido, le diste celos a la luna y el sol. Por la calle, inspirando infinito verso de tu corazón. Momento pasa y nos deslumbra como el sol en las mañanas de San Panchito. Me quedé ciega con tu luz sin saber a dónde iba y ahora solo quiero tomarte en el Parque Dolores. Un instante que viene y se va, pero lo que da se queda. Y ahora con qué me quedo yo y qué es lo que tengo. Me llevaré el cariño, me llevaré el cariño, calor. Me llevaré el cariño, me llevaré el cariño, calor. Me llevaré el cariño, me llevaré el cariño, calor. Me llevaré el cariño, me llevaré el cariño, calor. Me llevaré el cariño, calor. Porque a mí me gusta el rico sol. Me llevaré el cariño, calor. Porque a mí me gusta el rico sol. Me llevaré y te daré. Me llevaré y te daré. Yo soy la luna, yo soy el sol. Yo soy la abeja y también la flor. Yo soy la luna, yo soy el sol. Yo soy la abeja y también la flor. Rico sol, rico sol, rico sol, rico sol, rico sol, rico sol, rico sol.
It totally makes me dream about that night again, guys. I'm like being that little kid now. No, we have to put this show together again.
We have to, yeah.
So cool. Wow, that's pretty powerful. Now tell me more about the record. So you call it an EP. I don't even know anymore, man. I don't know when it's.
I don't either. I don't
whatever.
either.
What that came out this year, last year?
No, hijo mío.
Oh, mi madrecita, ¿qué dice?
2014, mi amor.
14. Ah, y tú hacías, no, yo voy a hablar con Bob a respecto de eso. Eso tiene que cambiar. Porque la cosa aquí, a toque de caja, como dice. And I actually, there's another show, but it seems like my next LoCura show, it will be epic. I don't know when it's going to happen, but you make sure that I'll have a good seat in the house, because I missed you guys at Stern Grove. I was planning to do this so much, and then we went to Europe and we missed it. And you work with a lot of people I love, and we'll make this happen. Guys, I want to keep on this ping-ponging thing here. Quetzal, when we first thought about, okay, let's put a show together in the Bay, I really was deep, and I'm still super deep. You can say that I'm like way down there in the Forró scene. And big shout out actually to Forró for All California, Elizabeth, Jennifer, and it's our sister organization that with Poheta, we do parties, concerts, and they do all the dance classes. They do workshops. They bring forró dance instructors from all over the planet, and one day we're gonna do a festival when the world's yeah, you know. But the video that called my attention and that I used to promote the Forró Nights with Quetzal, and Quetzal just fell. I don't know what happened, but
No, I'm back. I'm back.
But basically, I was using Burning Fire
Mm-hmm.
for all my promotion, and I have Burning Fire here on the queue. I want to play to our audience here at Tamo Junto, because I know that's gonna hit right into the hearts out there. It's all the hearts, they're gonna start melting for this song. Tell me a little bit about Burning Fire. You shot that in LA. You shot that at the space of Trópico de Nopal. Our friend DJ Reyes,
Mm-hmm.
that he manages the forró in LA scene out there.
Mm-hmm.
How was that story?
Well, that story is a beautiful one because I got to bring together a lot of amazing musicians and community to do this live performance video. Aside from being a music video, it's actually a live performance. The audio that you're listening to is the audio that was actually
Oh,
performed
really?
in that
Wow.
space. And I really wanted to do that, to capture the energy that we had brought together, because we had a lot of people from the forró scene, DJ Reyes being one of them. His Tropical Nopal Gallery is an amazing place in Filipino town, close to downtown Los Angeles. And he had been doing a forró in LA party for a while, along with groups like Mo Forró and DJ Yukisito. So it was kind of cool that the Poheta party kind of started popping off right around the time Forró in LA started putting together parties, and I found myself as part of the scene just by default, having been working with Paulo and Donna Francisca and everybody, and having some knowledge in Forró na Habeca, which is what I specialize in and what I made a mission in trying to learn as much as I could in. So when I got the idea of doing this song, I approached Reyes about it, and he was super excited about it. He decorated the back of his space and created this amazing little world that we lit up. We put a little fogo no chão, we put a little pit fire. I called up all my forrozero friends to come by, as well as some of my interpretive dancer friends, because we wanted it to be a fusion of sounds. That song, Burning Fire, it incorporates forró, obviously, but it also incorporates that backbeat, kind of rootsy, bluesy sounds that we find in American folk music. Then there's so many similarities to the folk music of Brazil and the folk music of America. I mean, one of the obvious roots is the African diaspora, is the influence of all the Africans that were brought to the Americas, and that consciousness and that polyrhythmic sensibility is something that's prevalent throughout all of the Americas in the music, and I think we owe that mostly to the African influence. So the musicians that I had playing there were some of the best, some of the all-time heavyweights of Los Angeles that could bring that authenticity to the forró. And some of the singers like Emina Morishima, who's part of Mo Forró, she's singing in the backgrounds for me, as well as my sister, she's there singing. And it was really cool to bring the whole community together for that one night and just have a great time celebrating what we do, which is art, which is dance, which is music, which is culture. And we brought it together, and I think it came together in a really spectacular way in the video, Burning Fire.
Without further ado, let me press the buttons here. Let's enjoy Burning Fire.
All right.
Let's see if I can do this right now. I need an assistant, guys. It's not easy out here. I got it. Oh, no, you see, I made a mistake already. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Na na na, and then share screen, share sound, and now it's going to happen.
Cut me, make me bleed into the depths of his soul eternally. Taste my blood with you and run through the eye of the fallen sun. Take away my flesh and bone, carve me out of wood and stone. So I ain't gotta feel all the pain that just won't leave me alone. Take away my flesh and bone, carve me out of wood and stone. So I ain't gotta feel all the pain that just won't leave me alone. Yeah, can't you see? Give it every part of my desire, and I'm left with nothing. Yeah, I'm a smoldering fire, and the fire burns, burns away, and the fire burns, burns away, and the fire burns to the darkest day. Take away my flesh and bone, carve me out of wood and stone. So I ain't gotta feel all the pain that just won't leave me alone. Take away my flesh and bone, carve me out of wood and stone. So I ain't gotta feel all the pain that just won't leave me alone. Can't you see? Giving every part of my desire, and I'm left with nothing. I'm a smoldering fire, and the fire burns, burns away, and the fire burns, burns away, and the fire burns to the darkest day. Take away my flesh and bone, carve me out of wood and stone. So I ain't gotta feel all the pain that just won't leave me alone. Take away my flesh and bone, carve me out of wood and stone. So I ain't gotta feel all the pain that just won't leave me alone.
É isso aí, meu
So
irmão.
there you have it. All right, this was really fun, guys. Finally, we made this happen. I'm so
Yes.
glad to have you. It's really a pleasure. Again, I've been saying to folks out there, in normal circumstances, we wouldn't be able to get together here, shoot, and have a good time, exchange ideas, remember stories from the past, and keep connected, because that's the idea of Tamo Junto. We started this channel with the idea of like community oriented media and giving the light to the music produced in the Bay. And because I'm Brazilian Latino and whatever, I am, I just call my friends, because I that's and one of the questions that we've been visiting and revisiting on this show, just to shine a good light on the whole situation. Pachamama is shaking, and we know we have to start really rapidly looking at alternative ways to live. And this has been an interesting pause to everyone, and a time of nurturing other things besides our crazy schedule.
Mhm.
What is for oh, is that a door? That's an amazing door sound, man.
I like it.
That door can be in a movie.
I know, right?
It's pretty
We're
amazing.
opening the door to a new paradigm, my friend.
The portal.
It's a portal. Yes.
Totally, man. I heard it. Anyways, Kata. Actually, let's start with Quetzal, and then we talk to Kata, and we lead out with some more LoCura. Quetzal, what's the
Mhm.
lesson here, man? What are we doing? What is Corona showing us?
I think Corona, which is the Pachamama, her spirit, that has been prevalent. I mean, this is history repeating itself, right? We always talk about the Spanish flu that happened about 100 years ago, but this is nothing new to indigenous peoples all over the world. They've faced a lot of viruses and plagues that have wiped out their huge, entire villages and cultures. Here, especially in the Americas, this is a huge repeat of history, but this is a very small scale compared to what happened, in the 1500s, where over 90% of the indigenous population was wiped out by things like the common cold, smallpox, the flu. So this is a time for people to really reflect on what history has taught us, and for us to really learn from our past and recognize that this is nothing new. We've survived this. We're going to come out of this stronger. We're going to come out of this better. We're going to come out of this with a higher consciousness, which is, I believe, is already happening throughout the entire globe. People are really recognizing what they need to prioritize, like I had mentioned earlier, what is important in this world. This is a time for us to have with our family. I have a lot of friends who are fathers and who are mothers who have young kids who 90% of the time they're too busy. They got to get daycare for their kids. They got to put them in school. They're running around trying to pay the mortgage and to rent the bills. Well, guess what? Now they can really put in that time to be the parent that they've always wanted to be for their kids. For us artists, this is the time for us to finally work on all those projects that we did not have enough time to do before because we were too busy doing gigs, too busy trying to pay the bills. Now I have a whole backlog of projects that I actually have an opportunity to really focus on and work on. I've been able to talk with my friends in a much more deeper and profound level now than I was before. It was more superficial. It was more about, hey, what do you got going on? What are you up to? When can we work together? Now it's more about how are you? How is your health? How is your mental health? How is your stability financially and spiritually? These are things that used to be put on the back burner that are now, prioritized, and we are confronted with. There's a lot of people getting confronted with their life's purpose. They have been distracted with all of the glitz and glam and the rat race to try to just survive in this society, to now be able to really reflect on what matters most. So I'm very hopeful that this time is going to bring about a better world for all of us, and especially for our future generations.
Oosh. Prioritizing the priorities here, everybody.
Yeah, bro.
Kata, you got a responsibility now. We got a poet in the house, man, that's living the dream here with us. Quetzal, muchas gracias, man. Obrigado,
Thank you,
mesmo. It's
guys.
always great to have you. Kata, you've been here in the Bay with us, sharing the energy, understanding, and being part of this whole community effort to align and trust the authorities, and we sometimes don't know what to do. There are many different fronts to this. Some of us are completely alone. Some of us are having domestic conflicts, but we're trying our best to stay positive and light throughout. What are you doing, and what's your lesson there, so we can snap out of it and still be focused?
Well, I think Quetzal really. I mean, he covered a lot of
Covered a
ground.
lot of
I
ground.
was like taking notes over here because you brought a lot of things, extra nuanced perspective. But I think a couple of things that stood out for me from what you were saying was like right now there's a thinner veil, and there's a vulnerability, access to vulnerability that there wasn't before, and like the way that we're connecting with each other and trying to hold together and stay connected. And so I think that that's really important, you know, is right now is like reaching out, making sure that people know that you're there for them, and taking care of yourself, like, you know, your health and your heart. And I live in a house with, you know, 5 women, so it's quite a different experience than other people I've been hearing that are completely alone. And I was thinking today, you know, for folks that are in homes with domestic violence, or like, you know, when home is not a safe space. So my heart really goes out to those folks, and I hope that you know, that they have a way to have support. But I think right now it's like Quetzal was saying, you know, that I feel hope. I feel a lot of hope, and I feel like that this is, you were mentioning last time we were talking about somebody saying a phrase, grandpas.
Will Maggot,
and I thought
the
you were saying
grandpas.
grandpa. I thought you were saying like grandpas, like grandfathers. And I was like, what? The grandpas, right? The
Exactly.
grandpas of the grandpas. This is, yeah, we're like forced to really like stop for a second from the rat race, you know, and it's an opportunity for us to connect. And we're vulnerable because we're scared, but we're also like, we're internalized, you know. And so it's a place where we are really like, we are really understanding the importance of community and of staying connected, and staying healthy and staying strong.
That's the message, everyone. Community is the cell of society. Connect. Even though we're separate, we're still together, and the only way to come out of this is together. We rely on each other. We rely on you staying home if you can. We rely on folks out there on the front lines that are taking very good care of themselves, that are being protective of each other. So let's do this. The social distancing thing isn't that bad. You know, it's bad because we want to, but we can go by, and we'll be back together soon, guys. And when we do, we'll really appreciate each other's companies. We'll really appreciate the good times that are to come together. And this is Estamos Juntos. We're together here every night from 8 to 9, whatever. It's now 9:30, but I don't have anyone to tell me to stop until Facebook cuts me off. So while that does not happen, thank you, Quetzal Guerrero, una vez más. Thank you, Kata, for being with me tonight. This is LoCura QVLN. I will say bye-bye to y'all. Adios, amigos. Amanhã tem mais, hein? Tomorrow, I have this filmmaker from Brazil. He's pretty amazing. His name is Cacau Roden, and he produced a movie called Tarja Branca. It's about the importance of playing as a child and as an adult. It has a lot to do with the moment we're living. We're prioritizing the wrong things, and we're not allowing ourselves to play anymore. We're not allowing ourselves to get into games and to let it be and enjoy ourselves as humans, as friends, as kids that we still carry inside of us. So tomorrow, Cacau Roden, and then I have a local clown here from the Bay Area, Palhaço Frangolino. He's going to be here with us tomorrow. So tune in.
Frangolino.
Yeah, Frangolino. All right. Good night, y'all. Tamo junto.
Right.
And this is LoCura Amarantos. Adios. All right, everybody. This was the episode 15 of Tamo Junto San Francisco. What you say?
What you say? Dímelo, dímelo, dímelo. volar, usando frontera para vivir, semillita que quiere bailar, tomando colores para embrujar, semillita que quiere volar. What you say, what you say, what you say, say what you say, what you say, what you say, say dímelo, 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 dímelo,
Pa' que lo goce, caballero, una cura sin miedo, échale esa tonguita para que goce tu mulatica. Ah, cura locura, que, pero que cura locura, cómo no, cura locura, que, ah.
La cultura pura, la locura. La cultura pura, la locura. She give us life, she give us food, plant to eat, flowers to bloom. She give us life, she give us food, plant to eat, flowers to bloom. She drink the water from the sky, feeding her roots for when it's dry. She drink the water from the sky, feeding her roots for when it's dry, dry, dry. Oh, she moves so good, she moves so sly, they fly with birds and then she flies. She moves so good, she moves so sly, they fly with birds and then she flies. So natural, so natural, she got the good. So natural, she got the sight. So natural, natural. Pajarillo, llévame en tu vuelo, pajarillo, llévame. Pajarillo, llévame en tu vuelo, pajarillo, llévame para allá. Llévame, llévame, llévame para allá. Pajarillo, pajarillo, oye. The will to live needs to survive. She got her roots, so then she died. The will to live needs to survive. She got her roots, and then she died. Siempre viva. Siempre viva, viva, siempre viva, siempre viva, viva. What to say, what to say, what to say, say what to say, what to say, what to say, say dímelo, 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 go.
That's it, everybody. One more, tamo junto, episódio 15. Amanhã eu converso. Se você está aí no Brasil, muito obrigado pela sua audiência. Eu sei que já é 1h30 da manhã, mas é isso aí, né, velho? Tamo junto. Amanhã eu converso com Cacau Roden, que é o diretor de um filme chamado Tarja Branca. E a gente conversa sobre a importância de brincar. Como brincar é importante para o desenvolvimento humano. Sejamos crianças ou adultos, precisamos brincar. E é isso aí. Espero que você esteja bem. E se você estiver precisando de alguma coisa, dá um grito. Dá um grito, porque tem gente para ajudar. Um grande abraço. A gente vai ficando por aqui. Boa noite. All right, guys, let me unmute you. Kata, muchas gracias, hein? This one was perfect. Tchau, querida. Boa noite, viu? Nos vemos.
Sí.
Vamos stop the recording and